Greetings to all. Today we are going to study about lesson sectors of Indian economy. An economy is better understood when you study its components or sectors. So, in this lesson, sectors of Indian economy, we will learn three types of classifications of economy, that is primary, secondary, tertiary, organized, unorganized, and public or private. To understand this chapter in a better way, we try to relate the topics to our daily life. So first let us describe what are the sectors of economy. Economic activities are classified into groups using some important criterion. These groups are known as sectors of economy. We can see people engaged in different activities to learn their livelihood. Some may be producing goods, while others may be delivering services. So, this is an economic activity. Sectors define a large segment of economy in which business share the same or a related product or service. Classification on the basis of nature of activities. So sectors of Indian economy is divided into primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. When we produce a good by extraction and collection of natural resources, it is known as the primary sector. We can take the examples of agriculture, fishing, mining, and also dairy farming. These all falls under primary sector. Secondary sector covers activities in which natural products are changed into forms through ways of manufacturing. It is the next step after primary. Some manufacturing processes are required here. It is also called the industrial sector. For example, using cotton fiber from the plant, we spin yarn and weave cloth. Using sugar cane as raw material, we make sugar or good. Tertiary sector includes activities that help the development of the primary and secondary sector. These activities by themselves do not produce a good, but they are an aid or support for the production process. It is also called the service sector. Example, teachers, banks, transportation, IT companies, barbers, cobblers, lawyers, call centers, software companies, everything comes under tertiary sector. So the three sectors are dependent on each other. Comparing the sectors, the value of final goods and services produced in each sector during a particular year provides the total production of the sector for that year. The sum of production in the three sectors gives gross domestic product of or the GDP of a country. What is GDP? GDP is the value of all the final goods and services produced within a country during a particular year. It shows how big the economy is. In India, the task of measuring GDP is undertaken by the central government. Here we can see the graph showing the GDP by primary, secondary and tertiary sector. In tertiary sector, in 1973, GDP in tertiary sector is less and very less in secondary sector, more in primary sector. Whereas in 2003, ter- tertiary sector, we find more secondary and primary sector are comparing equal. And share of sectors in GDP in 73, agriculture is more, next comes tertiary, and third is secondary. Whereas in 2003, tertiary sector is more, secondary and primary sector are equally. Whereas in 1973, employment is more in agricultural sector than in industrial sector is less, and tertiary sector is stands in second position. Whereas 2000, employment in agricultural sector decreased, and there is we can see a slight rise in secondary sector and more in tertiary sector. So what is public sector? The government owns most of the assets and provides all the services. And private sector ownership of assets and delivery of services is in the hands of private individuals or companies. How are they classified on the basis? Sectors of economy are classified on organized and unorganized sector. Organized sector, people have assured work and terms of employment are regular. Here, organized sector is a sector where the employment terms are fixed and regular, and employees get assured work. They are registered by the government and have to follow its rules and regulations, which are given in various laws such as the Factories Act, Minimum Wages Act, Payment of Gratuity Act, Shops and Establishments Act. The job is regular and has fixed working hours. If people work more, they get more. They get paid for the more overtime by the employer. Workers have enjoy the security of employment. People working in the organized sector get several other benefits from the employer such as paid leave, payment during holidays, provident fund, gratuity, etc. People get medical benefits. The factory manager has to ensure facilities like drinking water and a safe working environment. When they retire, these workers get pensions as well. Examples of the unorganized organized sector are government employees, registered industrial workers, Anganwadi workers, village health workers, etc. Unorganized sector is characterized by small and scattered units which are largely outside the control of the government. There are rules and regulations, but these are not followed since they are not registered with the government. Jobs are low paid and often not regular. Employment is not secure. People can be asked to leave without any reason. There is no provision for overtime, paid leave, holidays, leave due to sickness, etc. There are no such facilities in the organized sector. Examples of the unorganized sector are shopkeeping, farming, domestic works, laboring, rickshaw pulling, etc. There are large number of activities which are primary responsibilities of the government. Government raises money through taxes and other ways to meet the expenses on the services rendered by it. Unemployment, when a person is willing to work at the prevailing wage rate but fail to get a job, it is called unemployment. We have types of unemployment: seasonal, disguised, structural, cyclical, frictional. The unemployment which generates due to the variation in season is called seasonal unemployment. When more people are working than required, it is called disguised unemployment. When the economy fails to generate enough jobs, it is called structural unemployment. The unemployment that is created because of depression in an economy is called cyclical unemployment. When employment happens because of transferring from one job to another, the period between changing the job is called frictional unemployment. And government have to undertake heavy spending such as the construction of roads, bridges, railway, harbors, generating electricity, providing irrigation through dams. Also, it has to ensure that these facilities are available for everyone to protect unemployment. There are some activities which the government has to support to encourage the private sector to continue their production or business. The government in India buys wheat and rice from farmers at a fair price and sell at a lower price to consumers through ration shops. Government also need to pay attention to aspects of human development such as availability of safe drinking water, housing facilities for the poor and food and nutrition, taking care of the poorest and most ignored regions of the world. So thank you children. With this we come to the end of the lesson.